Ahoy, Pantry Pirates fans. Collin and I saw a pile of rubbish. Oh, hey, Collin. Collin and I saw a pile of rubbish out in front of somebody's house earlier this week, and we noticed among that pile was this bad boy. He's a Char Griller model, 2121 Super Pro. Granted, he's a little worse for wear, some surface rust, and the furniture is looking rough and needs replaced, but shouldn't be anything too hard to tackle. We're going to turn this rust into roaster. You want to get a close-up of the current state, bud?
Oh yeah.
Definitely needs some love. As I mentioned, the grates have some surface rust. We need to work on getting that scrubbed off. These cast iron grates, if you take care of them, they'll last quite a long time, but if you don't, they tend to rust. And then the wooden furniture parts need to be replaced. I went ahead and cut and stained some new wood, for pilot wood, but newer than this, for new shelving for it. We'll get that installed as well. All right, step one, we're going to take these rusty grill grates, give them a light brushing, and then we'll get them into a solution of half vinegar and half water. Thanks. Yeah, let's take the, careful. So we're going to use a brass brush because a steel brush can sometimes eat into the iron itself. It's a little bit gentler touch. And then I've got a metal scraper. We're just going to gently scrape off any of the flakes, pitted off. Here you go. Areas. If you want to start on the light stuff, I'll get some of the heavy flaking off.
What am I going for? Just like
just if you can, you see how there's like outer areas right there?
oh, so like this?
Yeah, like try to get the loose stuff off. Good question. This is just like a pre-cleaning before we get it soaking good.
This is supposed to be like this orange.
Yeah, the orange is rust. After we finish, it's not supposed to be orange like that. What we want to do though is any of the loose flakes we want to get off, and then we'll let the vinegar solution take the surface rust off after that. Hey Collin, I know you're going through chemistry. Have they mentioned oxides yet in your chemistry class?
No, not yet.
Okay. Basically, when metal, lots of different metals hit air, it forms a chemical reaction called oxidation. In this case, with iron, it turns into rust. That's what we're trying to remove because nobody likes rust on their grilled meats. It don't have to be perfect, just all the big loose stuff that can be clean. A lot of this isn't rust, it's just like caked on food too. You guys at home know the old saying, one man's trash is another man's treasure. Nobody likes treasure better than the Pantry Pirates. Probably fast forward through this, so it won't be like 20 minutes of scraping video.
You would like speed up where you say like another man's trash is another man's treasure.
I should what?
You would like slow down when you say another man's trash is another man's treasure.
Yes, either that or I'll say it at a different time during the video. Good point. I had that thought.
You also want to speed up the second one.
Another man's trash is another man's treasure.
One more
Yeah.
sentence.
by Alvin and Chipmunk. Alright. I think we got most of the loose stuff off of there.
What my brush is doing.
I got another scraper if you want it.
That would probably be better.
This isn't doing much from what I can see. Here's my other scraper. Somewhere, dude. Just want to try to clean it up best you can. Where did I put that?
Butterfly.
My bad. You know the tool area where we have these guys hanging up?
Yeah.
Can you grab one?
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, I meant to grab two. Alright, and then once most of that surface stuff is cleaned off and there is as easily cleaned off as possible, I'm gonna put them into this solution we have here, which is half vinegar and half water. Let them get a good soak. We could use harsher chemicals, but since that's a cooking surface, we want to stick with something that's edible and won't leave any kind of dangerous residue on it. That's why we chose vinegar and water.
I didn't find one like yours, but I found like a mini one.
That works. Once you get the top, turn it around again. Make sure you get the gunk off the bottom too.
What colors does rust come in? Is it just like this, like copper?
Well, iron oxidation rust typically turns like a reddish orange. Actually, did you know that that's what colors the soil of Mars?
I did not.
Ooh, you actually chose a chisel. That works too.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Chisel can be a scraper. Oliver, quit eating this Girl Great dirt. My little dog thinks it's a snack. Probably not good for his tummy though. My little buddy is a scavenger, just like me. Sometimes it's fun after a long week to get your hands dirty and get into a little Saturday project. Get all that loose stuff. Do you think some people will find ASMR value in this?
You'd have to go like really slow when you're doing it.
We can slow it down.
You have to go like.
Do some people actually like watching rust scrape off the stuff?
I've never seen an ASMR video like that.
Maybe we can be pioneers in there too.
There's something out there probably.
Something for everybody.
Something for everybody.
I know you're already getting into it pretty heavy, but if you want, man, we got you some gloves on the table. Clean off all those loose bits and pieces. Everyone's ready for the bath. Oh. You can even, just give it a little knock, see if you can get the loose stuff. Okay, that one's good. Awesome. Go ahead and give it a bath. Sure. Yeah, that's perfect. I'm glad we didn't overfill the tray, because then it could seep out. We might need to put a little more in it.
Yeah.
Actually, can you get the rest of the vinegar? Put it on the bar. Thanks, dude. Don't pour it all the way to the top, because there'll be a little water displacement from this 4th grade too, but I would just add maybe half an inch to it.
Okay.
Thanks. Ooh, that's satisfying. Looking at all that flaky stuff coming off. Thanks, dude.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Well, it's all right. We're not going to use that wood anyway. But if that was the new wood, I would say please don't do that. Man, you smell that? Somebody else is grilling something.
Yeah.
It smells good. It's grilling season, folks. Tailgating is right around the corner. Pretty weather. Speaking of tailgating, what's the first SEC game you're looking forward to, Collin?
Oh man, probably I don't know. I don't know, you know. I mean the first week there's Clemson and LSU play. They're not both SEC teams, but that'll be a really good game and that'll be really fun. Definitely a close game.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that first Georgia Bulldog game of the season.
Oh yeah.
Alright, that's about as clean as we can get it with the scraper. We'll give that a bath as well with its other grates. Nice.
I don't want to put too much. So.
I just want to make sure it's all covered.
Yeah.
Give it some time to soak. Nice. So I guess it ended up being more like a 75% vinegar solution than a 50%. Maybe it'll do the job faster.
Mmm.
All right, man, let's get a close-up of the inside. Oh, thanks, dude. So most of the structure is still in good shape except for this ash pan. It's pretty rusted out. We're definitely gonna have to get a replacement, but even so, a new one, I think even made out of stainless, only runs about 40 bucks, so that's not bad. It's not bad at all, considering these grills are a few hundred brand new. And we'll get it running like new. So let's go ahead and take the ash pan out.
That's some ash.
Yeah, sure is. All right, let's get our. I'm gonna grab the wood off of here. Do you wanna use our shovel and scoop out the loose stuff?
Sure.
I'll remind you again. There's gloves if you wanna. I'm gonna take our furniture off and marry the new hardware, the mounting holes with it, and make sure that everything lines up okay.
It's a lot of smoke. Looks like gunpowder.
All right, I got my deep socket. Let's see what size socket we need.
Should I like scrape it off the top, like right here?
Sure. Looks like 11 millimeters. 11 millimeter socket is our magic number for these bolts. I'm gonna go grab a parts tray so I don't lose the hardware.
Clean it up. It's really satisfying just grabbing it and tossing it back in. There's so much ash in here.
Hey Colin, have you ever heard of the maritime tradition of salvage rights?
No.
Salvage rights are an old tradition where if there's a scuttled ship, whoever's brave enough to bring it back to port gets a good cut of the cargo that ship was carrying. We're claiming salvage rights on this grill. Came out nice and easy. Make sure I keep those together.
I know your Christmas presents were in here.
Huh.
Look.
Oh, I do love me some coal. We got a wood burning stove, and I always joke that I want coal for Christmas because it burns long. I need an 11 millimeter short socket to get the bolts underneath the bracket with an adapter. I've got a little micro socket that'll help me get in that hard to reach spot. Little micro sockets great for those hard to reach areas, especially like car upholstery. I've used it a bunch of times. Oh yeah, breaks it right up.
I think I got a good amount of it.
Good job.
There's still kind of that.
Hey, why don't you grab the blower? We'll see if we can blow out the rest of the loose stuff. Oh, also, if you would, that metal scraper.
Yeah.
I'll just put that. Where'd you see where to put the metal scraper? Have you seen it? Where's the brush? I don't know. Maybe it's on the table. Anyway, if you'll get that and scrape all the loose stuff out too, we'll give it a coat of paint. I dropped the bolt.
Oh man.
You want to be upwind of it. One more time. Nice. Now we can take our scraper and just scrape over this one. Try to get off of the loose stuff if you would. Careful, there's a few bolts here you want to miss. Yeah, speaking of bolts, here's the one I dropped. I'll get the rest of these off. Good job, son. By the way, you never want to put hot ashes into a plastic trash can, but since these are completely cooled, it's okay.
What would happen if I did?
It could burn through. That's a good question. It could be a fire hazard and keep on burning. Plastic ignites pretty easily. Alright, so we had a little bit of difficulty with some stuck bolts on the side shelf. I ended up having to get my angle grinder out and grind off a few bolts, but we got those off. We were able to use the old shelf parts as a template, and then I have these new pieces that I stained and cut, and then I used the original holes as a template where to drill the new holes. So with a little luck, it should all match up. All right, Collin did a very good job scraping the inside. We still got a little surface rust on the bottom, but we're gonna hit that with some Rust-Oleum paint. Where did I put that? I'll be right back. I forgot this. All right. You know what? First, before I do that, let's go ahead and wash. I don't want to wash the inside because I don't want to. It'll take longer to dry, but we're gonna wash the outside. What's up with that damper? I'll figure that out later. We're gonna go ahead and just spray off the outside to get it cleaner and ready to accept some paint. Where's that sponge? Oh, can you hand me that sponge over there? Next to that grate. Actually, if you don't mind, as I go through, I'll get that part. Would you mind to like sponge off with the scrubby side, the green side? Well, just the heavy soil and stuff. Yeah, that works. I'll give it a rinse. Alright, Yeah, if you don't mind to scrub like this area, see how it's got some gunk on it. It doesn't have to be perfect, but the more grease and loose like spider webs and stuff you can get off, the better the paint will stick. Put my keyboard over here. Looks good. I'll hit that with the rinse again. We'll give that a few minutes to air dry, and then we'll be ready to paint it. All right. Now that it's nice and dry, I'm going to give it a good coat of high temperature paint. This is Rust-Oleum High Heat Tough Protective Enamel. Stops rust, which is what we need. They say shake it for a good 30 seconds before you use it. Now I'm not going to paint the secondary warming grate, but I am going to paint the inside body and the outside body of the grill. The catch is, if you do that, you want to make sure to give it a good burn without food at about 250 to eliminate any VOCs inside from the new paint, which we'll do that before we start cooking on it. All right, we're shook up. You want to spray in nice even strokes. Where's the... There it is. Right there. You want to always match up the front to the little knob. Nice even strokes, starting at the top. Now, if I wasn't outside, I would definitely go a respirator, because this is some funky stuff coming out of here. Basically, I'm aiming for all the non-cooking surfaces of the grill. Alright, I got the inside top pretty well. So let's hit the inside bottom. I would definitely try to get a nice even coat, but focus a little more on any areas where you see surface rust to try to use the magic of Rust-Oleum to stop that rust from spreading. Then when we start on the outside, Same thing, if you notice any areas of high rust, I would hit them really quick first, and then you can even come back and hit them again as you spray the whole grill body. That way you're really focusing on the rusty areas. Looking good. Now, if you really care about keeping that Char Griller logo nice and shiny, you could cover it up with some painter's tape. I'm just going to spray right over it. I like a good low profile look. After a good wash, the metal is accepting that paint very well. I don't see any drips with a nice steady coat. We'll have it looking new. This is also a great time to hit those brackets since we already removed the wood. Those are some areas you can't easily get to without overspray once the shelves are installed. That's looking sharp. Make sure to get the smokestack. Notice how I'm using short bursts too. You don't really need to just keep your finger on the nozzle. Only when you're wanting to hit something that you want to paint. Go ahead and open that up so it doesn't get painted shut. A little quick right on the inside. All right. Now the back end. Folks, this is a brand new can of paint, and we're pretty much going to use the whole thing. But I think it's a worthwhile investment to get this thing looking like new. Oh yeah. Don't forget your rack on the bottom if you have any rust down there. Okay, we're back with the paint on the grill totally dry. I went ahead and installed the new furniture, the side shelf, the front shelf, and the handle. I think it looks pretty handsome. Everything fit pretty well. I ended up, instead of the lag bolts, I used hex bolts and I just countersunk them in. That way they're not quite flush, but close to flush with the shelf. So the main grill body is good to go. All right, let's check out our grapes. They've been soaking in about 75% vinegar and 25% water all day. Man, and most of that rust is eaten off. Looks like it. Take these guys out and give them a scrub. It's coming off a lot easier than it did before the vinegar treatment, that's for sure. All right. Yeah, that worked better than I expected. A little bit of elbow grease, I think they'll be looking like good cast iron again. Alright, I'm going to take this vinegar and see if I can put our top grade in it to de-rustify it a little bit too. I don't know if de-rustify is a word. Container's not quite wide enough, but I could at least do one side at a time. Question is, can I move this? Well, it's not as bad as I thought. I'm using a planter box, so it's just thin plastic, so I'm being extra careful. I figured it would be good disposable container for the rust soak. I'll put this over here to the side and let it sit one side at a time. See if we can't get some of that rust off. Meantime, let's work on these grapes. Yeah, that vinegar soak definitely helps. Yeah, that rust is coming off so much easier. Heck yeah. There we are. I see that rust coming right off, most of it. Look at that. There's iron behind that rust, after all. Now I know some of y'all are cringing because you're really not supposed to get cast iron wet for longer than needed, but we'll give it a thorough drying as soon as we get it cleaned up. You definitely don't want to let cast iron sit in straight water for too long because it'll rust up on you again. Yeah, look at how much better. It's still a little bit of rust on the top, but look at how much better that was versus this morning. So much better. ordered another ash pan. Unfortunately, it won't be here for a couple days. So we're going to go ahead and use this one for the initial fire up, just to cure and bake in the paint. I will not be using this for grilling food. Get it nice and dry in there. I probably got a little spray from cleaning the grates. Oh, the other thing that we're missing is a fully working damper. This guy has a damper, but it looks like the handle is rusted off, so there's really no way once it gets hot to open or close it. I'm going to use it for the initial cure of the paint, but we'll have to get a new damper as well for a full operation to be able to control temperature better. Hand tighten that for now because we know it's not staying there forever. Okay. Yeah, look at that compared to this morning. So much better on rust. Virtually none. Alright, let's put our ash pan in there and put the grates back in. Then we'll wheel over to the patio and fire it up. Man, just look at the water beating off with that Thompson's water seal. Should last a good long while. Maybe a little more TLC on this one. I still see a little bit of orange. That's better. Much better. A little bit on this side. Now let's take a look at our top rack too. We gave it just a quick rust bath, vinegar bath. Let's see what we get results-wise. Man, I've seen better days. Coming off even easier than the cast iron. So for contrast, the cast iron grate sat in the vinegar bath completely for 6 hours, give or take. This guy sat in for maybe 15 minutes, and it's still really coming off. Looking good. Let's pop this grate back in and we'll fire up the grill and dry off all our scrubbed hardware. Alright, now that we got it back on the patio in a fire-safe location, we're going to go ahead and fire it up 3 times to cure the paint. The first time for 250 for 30 minutes and then cool. The second time 400 for 30 minutes and then cool. And the third time 600 degrees Fahrenheit for 30 minutes and then cool. That will help the paint completely cure and harden onto the grill surface. From there, I'll season the cast iron grates and we'll fire it up again probably tomorrow to get that oily goodness baked into the cast iron and get that protective layer on there. Let's go ahead and fire up our charcoal for the first cure. I'm going to go ahead and throw some pecan chunks on there too because I love the mellow smoke flavor of pecan wood, and I want to go ahead and maybe bake that right into the inside of the grill. Alright, thank y'all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video and this grill rejuvenation journey we went on. See you next time.